Hold up. Y'all need to get in here for this mess because Diddy just sent the entire internet on fire after he got arrested for sex trafficking and forcing young boys and girls into freak-offs without their will. According to the feds, they found hundreds of different tapes of these freak-offs, and they were worse than Cassie even described in that lawsuit. But get this, there were a lot of celebrities who were found in these tapes too, and one of them was allegedly Jay-Z. Yeah, y'all heard that right. Diddy is now reportedly threatening Jay and everybody else he was partnering with to help him get out of jail, or else he's gonna sing like a bird and reveal everything. Once Diddy is officially sentenced, the powerful people he was working with are not going to let him live for much longer, cause he's very aware of this. So he's putting everything out there before they take his crusty self out of here. If I was Jay-Z, I would be paying for every high-end lawyer I could get because Diddy definitely has a lot to say and he is not shutting up. Diddy was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York Monday night, and according to a source who spoke to TMZ, Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying and they arrested him. The feds found more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubes that were seized from his homes. Diddy was also accused of making women have sex with male prostitutes until they were so worn out they required IV drips. He provided them after the sex because everybody would be exhausted, with some of them being so dehydrated that they would be close to dying. Diddy kept these videos to hold his leverage over his victims.
They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Not only that, but as we speak, the case is still actively developing, and apparently, the arrest was made as a result of the things that they found during the raids of his houses a few months ago. If y'all remember, Homeland Security unexpectedly raided Diddy's properties across the US. And in several video footages from that day, they could be seen arresting his sons, Justin and Christian, and also leaving the property with tons of evidence. In a recent press conference, the feds revealed that they have multiple phone call recordings that Diddy and his entourage made to his victims trying to bribe them into either staying silent or changing their statement about what he did to them so he could get away with his crimes.
In late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his.
Diddy's indictment also revealed that he allegedly flew in tons of sex workers into the US and forced them to participate in his freak-offs with tons of his friends, victims, and others. These freak-offs would last for hours. And one of these so-called friends that he was doing these nasty things with was allegedly none other than Jay-Z. Jay and Diddy used to be very close friends for years, and at some point, Diddy even referred to Jay as his brother from another mother. Diddy even said in an interview that there are only 2 people that are allowed to call him by his government name, and that's Jay-Z and his mom. However, since Diddy got busted, Jay has been trying to distance himself a lot. But a lot of people, especially Jaguar Wright, have made sure we don't forget about Jay's affiliations with Diddy.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years. He's worse. I think the TPD trial has the potential to force Sean Combs to finally be honest about some things that he hasn't been honest about, which could create great leverage for knocking that big lip camel face back into the oblivion in the depths of hell where he came from.
When Jaguar said this, people could not help but defend everything she was saying, because Jay has a history of doing things that are just as questionable as the things that Diddy was doing, but for some reason, everyone conveniently turned a blind eye and just allowed him to get away with it. For starters, there was word going around back in the day that Jay was in a predatory relationship with then 15-year-old Foxy Brown. He allegedly convinced her into dating him by promising her a career in Hollywood, but once he was done using her, he pushed her off into the industry to silence her and then went on to completely blackball her.
But that ain't the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Y'all remember Foxy Brown and Jay? Ain't no woman like the one I got. No one could love you better.
This was seemingly confirmed by Jay's ex-best friend, Dame Dash, who got super defensive when he was asked about it. He didn't deny it, but he definitely said he was in no place to speak about it, and that Jay should be asked about it since he was the one taking advantage of Foxy.
At what age was Foxy Brown signed?
I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
But that's
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I know
Stop
you did.
putting
I'm
me
just
in that.
asking a
You keep asking
question.
'cause I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everybody.
You the boss.
Yo, don't beat around the bush. Say what you want
I'm
to say.
just
What do you
asking.
mean by that question?
I was just asking.
What are you insinuating?
I'm
when
not
you ask me
insinuating.
about
I just
Foxy
asked the
Brown?
question.
Let me shoot.
I thought Foxy was like 16. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you.
All I'm saying
it sounds
is
like
in
you
this
got
industry,
some-
when we live in
it
these
seems like
glass
you got.
houses.
It seems like you got a question for Jay. Ask him. Y'all keep asking me questions y'all want to ask him because he ain't here. Ask him. I ain't got shit to do with that, and I don't even know nothing about that.
Now, even though Dame was hesitant about speaking on Jay and Foxy, he did not hold back from spilling all the tea about Jay's disturbing relationship with Aaliyah. According to Dame, Jay went behind his back to aggressively try to get Aaliyah to be his girlfriend, but he wasn't interested at all. He was allegedly even inviting her to his parents in a desperate attempt to get her into a relationship with him. But Aaliyah also had eyes for Dame, and as you can already imagine, Jay's ego did not handle this rejection well.
Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay. Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We have a lot of fun together, but we never dated.
Child, this is a hot stinking mess. But that wasn't all the wild things that Jay-Z was doing. Dame said he was forced to cut Jay off as a friend after he realized Jay was willing to do anything for power, even if that meant sacrificing the careers of naive girls associating with predators in the industry. Now, in case y'all are wondering why Dame was even saying this, well, it's because at the time that R. Kelly was exposed for messing with underage girls and even faking documents to marry Aaliyah when she was 15. Jay was still shamelessly supporting R. Kelly and even made an entire joint with him. He was basically saying he didn't give a care in the world about them victims, and he was still helping R. Kelly's career.
The idea of having a whole album with myself and R. Kelly was just to see how it would come out was just an amazing prospect. So we put it together, man. We started coming up, and here we are.
A real hot mess, but it gets even worse because when Aaliyah passed away in that fatal plane crash, it was rumored that her death was a sacrifice and that some of the industry elites, aka Jay-Z and R. Kelly, had allegedly orchestrated that as a sacrifice to the Illuminati. These rumors got fueled when the details of her strange death were released. It turns out Aaliyah was never even supposed to be on the plane that day. She was given a sedative without her consent, and once she went unconscious, they put her in against her will.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down.
The plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress.
Unfortunately, Aaliyah and Foxy were not the only women who were alleged victims of Jay-Z, because there's also his rumored pregnant mistress, Kathy White, who he reportedly unalived after she threatened to go public about their secret affair. At the time of Kathy's mysterious death, it was also reported that she had died from a brain aneurysm. But of course, this was just a load of BS to hide the truth. The crazy thing is, everybody bought this brain aneurysm story, but the popular blogger Hollywood Street King was on a whole different type of time. And he took it upon himself to do his own investigation. And girl, he did his big one. He managed to get in contact with one of the NYPD officers who was involved in investigating Kathy's death, and this officer sang like a bird, baby. Hollywood Street King posted an article about what he found out from this officer and several other people that he spoke to. And I'm gonna read every word of this article to y'all. The article read, "Yesterday, I got the news that Kathy Michelle White had suddenly passed away, so I quickly began my investigation, and guess what? Kathy did not die from a brain aneurysm as widely reported around the internet today. According to an NYPD detective who told me, Kathy's cause of death is uncertain, and later today, we will have the autopsy and toxicology reports. Right now, the death is considered suspicious." Kathy White died exactly 1 year to the day when I broke the story of her and Jay-Z's affair. Here's exactly what the NYPD told me. A 911 call came in from an apartment on 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. Ambulance came and took Kathy because she was sick. They took her to the Beth Israel Hospital, and that's where she expired. It was too early to be speculating that an aneurysm killed her. They will later be doing an autopsy to check out the cause of her death. But someone might have given Kathy a bad drug, so they'll do the toxicology, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that report. 2 weeks prior to her death, Kathy was contacted by a major tabloid that was investigating the Jay-Z connection. She gave them little information to go on, but according to one of our sources, following her conversation with the tabloid, she then called Jay and told him that she was going to go public with their affair for a price. This all happened in the last 2 weeks. Then, little more than 48 hours after that announcement that Beyoncé was pregnant with Jay-Z's baby, this young lady suddenly dies under suspicious circumstances. As if that wasn't proof enough, Jaguar Wright also said that Kathy didn't die from a brain aneurysm, and that she was actually heard screaming for her life in the last few minutes before she died.
Kathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming, and the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see? I mean, I'm just speculating.
And do y'all remember the time that Kanye literally exposed Jay for having unalivers in his camp? Kanye might tell a joke, but he never tells a lie.
I've been sent here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sent here to give y'all the truth. Jay-Z called me, bro. You still ain't called me. Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man.
And then, of course, there's none other than Beyoncé, who people have believed has been a victim of Jay, but somewhere along the line became his partner in crime. Jay was pushing 30 when he first started courting Beyoncé, who was just freshly 18 with barely any experience about what a relationship even is. In fact, in a since-deleted interview from 2007, Jay admitted that he met Beyoncé when she was just 16. But he made the decision to wait till she was freshly 18 to make a move on her.
Beyonce's on. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Now, for those of y'all wondering who this face is, it's actually Beyoncé's ex-bodyguard, and he actually witnessed everything he just said in that video firsthand. And I don't know about y'all, but the things he accused Jay of doing to Beyoncé sound very similar to what Diddy did to Cassie. If y'all remember, Cassie had also accused Diddy of pumping her up with substances and alcohol, including ketamine and ecstasy, causing her to fall into dangerous addictions that controlled her life. This is very similar in the way that Jay and Diddy treat women, and people are convinced that Diddy will be name-dropping him too when that trial starts. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, Jay is up next. There's no way he didn't know about R. Kelly and Diddy, especially with this paternity test he's avoiding. Beyoncé when the feds pull up to her home in 3 months after Diddy rats on Jay-Z for a plea deal. Another person said, Jay-Z been to Epstein Island, dated underage Beyoncé, and is besties with Diddy. He better be interrogated too. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Jay-Z's alleged involvement in Diddy's crimes? And do y'all think Diddy will expose Jay-Z too? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.